Leon Panetta lifted the ban that was stopping women from being in combat positions in the military, and as you can imagine, conservatives have not been happy about that. And now we have a senator talking about what he plans to do to potentially stop it. So this is Senator James Inhofe, and he's got some great quotes in regard to that. He says, "But I want everyone to know that the Senate Armed Services Committee, of which I am the ranking member, will have a period to provide oversight and review. During that time, if necessary, we will be able to introduce legislation to stop any changes we believe to be detrimental to our fighting forces and their capabilities. I suspect there will be cases where legislation becomes necessary." So this is before any review of how they're actually going to implement Leon Panetta's proposed changes, and he's already implying that, don't worry, conservatives, I'm going to do whatever I can to stop women from firing guns, I suppose. What do you guys think?
I wonder why women are not sure the Republicans represent them. I can't quite figure it out. But Wes, I defer to you here.
Look, I was in the service, and I was in an all-male unit because I was in divisional cavalry, which is like reconnaissance.
It's horses, right?
It used to be horses. I mean, now it's, tanks, Humvees, helicopters and stuff. We didn't have females. It's like cav units are half ground, half air. And we didn't have any female pilots, even though we're in an aviation division that did, because they weren't allowed, because it's a frontline unit.
Yeah.
When I was a cadet, we trained with females, like you do something called advance camp right before your senior year. And I don't know, we probably had 6 or 7 females in our platoon. They were great, but physically, there wasn't a single one of them that could complete a forced march. There wasn't a single one of them that could keep up, even among the weakest guys there. And you think, okay, these are the women who, the Department of Defense is paying for their education, and they sought it out to become an Army officer. So these are people who are really motivated.
Yeah.
So for those particular women, probably not. But I think if you enforce the standards rigorously, it's not going to make a difference. I think the number one problem with the military right now in women is rape and sexual assault, which is not the female's fault.
Now, so let me take it one step at a time. So you're saying the bottom line is you pass the test, you pass the test.
If you can do it, you can do it. I mean,
And so what you think, look, in the crazy situation, let's say you're back in and you're in a frontline situation.
If I have to go back in, there's like an enemy army in California.
They're coming around the bend in Venice. Okay. But you think, bottom line is, can they actually get my back? And if they can physically do that, then you don't care.
It doesn't make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that makes sense. And what I keep saying is, I don't want to loosen the standards. Like, it's totally fine now. But do not loosen the standards. And look, they're not going to loosen them today. I'm just saying be vigilant 5 years, 10 years out, because it's not the right thing to do. Now, when it comes to the issue of the sexual assault and rape, look, that's a huge cultural issue, because it's not being taken seriously enough. And now we have
the numbers of women who've been sexually assaulted and raped in the Army it's unbelievable how high they are.
Yeah, some of the conservatives were saying, one reason we don't want women in frontline combat positions is because of the chance of the enemy raping them. They're being raped already, let's do something about it.
Right. And look, and the answer isn't, well, okay, since women are being raped too much, let's take women out of there. The answer is, let's do something about the rape.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's the same argument mentality that, I'm sure people say it's just a standard patriarchal argument, because it's the same argument that radical Muslims have against women walking around with their hair exposed or anything else is, we're men, we can't control ourselves. And that's BS. Of course you can.
And to that point, women are in the Israeli army, and they seem to be doing just fine. When you compare the Israeli army to the Arab armies, looks like the Israeli army's got, look, they have fundamental advantages, money, weapon-wise, etc. But obviously it hasn't destroyed the Israeli army, and so I think we got to get a lot more serious about enforcement.